Oh, injection. Okay.
So we are actually gathered our idea and brainstorming our idea regarding any problem. So I can relate these things to the design environment.
Okay.
Seeing this video, it's helped me a lot.
Very good. Very good.
And regarding this, I have one idea regarding failure mode analysis. So
Failure
this,
mode analysis.
yes,
This
yes,
is heavy duty engineering.
yes, sir. Means in designing part, they are actually doing the DFMEA,
Right.
and we are doing actually PFMEA.
Oh, I see.
Then what is the occurrence of the particular product? Actually, we are first design means talking about the severity of any failure. Then we talking about the means occurrence where maybe the occurrence can take place, or we just can where the things are that the problem can detect it. Can it be detected very clearly, or it's just a manual process? So in designing things, some things I can relate to that idea.
Very nice.
That's all.
Okay. Very good.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Others? Folks, what is at this stage? What exactly is your understanding of the word innovation? Did you guys go through the articles? There were one or two articles that we had to use with. I think they were put in your thumb drives, right? There was one article on design thinking that was on thumb drive. We went through some videos yesterday on IDEO, and of course, there was a whole lot of other conversation that took place. So, where are you? By the way, innovation is not purely about. I'm just trying to turn this mobile phone off because it is considered very impolite if the mobile phone comes on, right? So, except for I just don't know how to turn this on. Maybe there is a button somewhere. Okay, there is a button. I found it. So, what does it mean? Innovation. Suppose you were standing here in front of class and you were supposed to say, what is innovation? What would you say? What is innovation to you?
Sir, innovation is starting of a new thing.
Starting of a new thing. Very good. Okay, starting of a new
A new
thing.
concept and idea.
A new concept and a new idea.
Untried and untested.
Untried and untested. Very good. You're saying all the right words.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, very good. Untried and untested. And then somehow to be able to try it and test it.
It's a matter of risks.
Okay, very good. Others?
Innovation is something which we can use in future. Generation can use that.
Okay.
It thinks about the future, how it will work, how we can work more conveniently in future.
Okay, very good. And the future, if you remember from the video, is not going to happen as an accident. Future is something that we're going to shape. So what you do today has an impact on the future, meaning tomorrow. Right? Everybody sees that here. Okay. And therefore, we have a certain role to play in that process. Okay, very good. Others?
Innovation is a process of inventing new one, which will be assisting the human task.
Okay. All right. Very good. So you don't. Very good. That was very good. So you don't stop at invention. You have to go one step further, one step farther, right? Further and farther. So therefore, invention may become the starting point. And actually, when we bring you in the picture, then it's not the invention that's the starting point. It's the idea that's the starting point, right? Okay. So ideas sometimes or many times will lead to certain inventions, right? And so on.
How much are our imagination would be, and our invention capacity would be like little bit higher.
Okay.
Imagination power. In
Yeah.
future generation, what would be the car condition? Maybe it's flying car. This concept of
Flying car.
Flying car.
Cars are already flying.
Means it sounds from the very beginning of any means imagination, like in the very previous world, what in Mahabharata or Ramayana stage, what people are thinking, imagining that this car means Rath is flying. Then they create airplane. This imagination.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I got the voice went back. Ramayana. Okay, very good. So it's talking about flying cars here. By the way, certainly imagination plays a very big role. If you were to have many of you seen this movie called Back to the Future, Michael J. Fox, yes, uh, you can see there's a divide between the younger people and the older people. The younger people may not even remember Michael J. Fox, right? But Michael J. Fox was like a superstar of his own time. And this is quite an incredible movie where they talk about travel through the time and be able to influence the occurrence of events. And towards the end, those of you who have watched it, he comes back and says, "Where we are going?" He said, "Doc." He used to call him Doc, right? To his mentor, the professor. He said, "Doc, where the heck are we going?" He says, "Where we are going, we don't need no roads." And remember, he just took off. That was a flying car. Okay, so yes, many times imagination comes out alive in movies. So many times you will see movies, they will come out like 20 years ahead of time in terms of realization of what we talk about. But for example, I don't know if there are Star Wars fans here. Star Wars has come out some recently with some movie, right? So Star Wars is not a thing of my generation. It's a thing of every generation. The Star Wars movies, that's when artificial intelligence was kind of like became the talk of the town. That's when robotics came around. What was the name of that tiny robot thing?
C3PO.
Very good. So therefore, yes, point well taken. You have to have imagination, all right? But the idea would be that imagination is not good enough. You have to go beyond imagination. So you have to act on it. So whenever we have ideas, whenever we imagine things, whenever we observe certain things, you have to be able to act upon that imagination. If you don't act upon it, it's gone. All right? And there will be some very simple examples I'll take. Okay, maybe I will request Dr. Arun. Dr. Arun, can you let me know when the formally is to open the session, or we are still waiting for a few more seats to be filled in?
Started. Yes, sir.
Yeah, no, I know. But are you waiting for more people to come, or can we start? We can wait for a few minutes. Okay, so while we are waiting, we'll still continue the talk. Okay, folks, remember I was talking about, I'll say this again when everybody's here. I was talking about frugal, right? So I thought I'll show it to you. Now, if fundamentally you say in India, everything is so expensive, what can you buy for 1 rupee? Not too many things, right? But here is a shampoo that you can buy for exactly 1 rupee. Okay? So 1 rupee, and it has 8.5, sorry, 6.5 milliliters. 6.5 milliliters. So let's do some round math. 1 rupee, 6.5 milliliters. Can somebody say for 1 liter of this, how much do I pay? If I buy enough sachet that it becomes 1 liter, can you guys do the math? 6.5 milliliters and 1 rupee. 155 to 160. Is that correct? Somebody has a mobile phone. Can you sort of punch in the numbers? These days we never calculate anything, right? Everything is in a mobile phone, right? There was a joke about how people somebody's living and say, now my husband doesn't know where anything is in the house. So you have to go to the toilet. He has to use GPS, right? Things like that. Okay, so what's the? But you didn't calculate with the calculator. Very good. What's the number? 155, guys. 1. Very good. So let's say 150 rupees. So if I buy a liter of this, right, enough sachet, that's 150. The question is there shampoo available in a 1 liter bottle? Folks, yes, no? The bigger bottle is not 1 liter?
Yes.
How much is a bigger bottle?
200 ml.
200 ml? That's it. Okay, 200 ml. Do we know the price of it? By the way, we are still in the informal part of the session. What's the price of that 200 ml bottle? 60. 60 to 70. Folks, now this is amazingly curious. 60 to 70. That means per liter. Per liter. How much are you paying if you're buying the bottle?
Short one. Short one.
No. Hold on. There's no such thing as a short one or a long one. Whenever you engage in products, you have to talk about the numerics of the product. So this is 6.5 milliliter. How much is a bottle of that you buy? Sir, are you checking the bottle or you're checking something else?
Bottle.
Okay, very good. Go ahead, tell us.
650 ml shampoo, 650 ml, 307 rupees.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So
The price also based on the flavor, sir. One more flavor for the same 340 ml or 60 ml, 310 rupees.
very good.
But averagely the price is constant. Based on the flavor, only
5, 10
10 or 20 rupees only change.
Okay, very good. So you see, now isn't that curious? You can buy these, right? 1 rupee at a time, and you spend 150 rupees for 1 liter. The other product is 300 rupees, which is twice the price, but it's not twice the volume, right? It's actually less volume.
That's all.
You see how economics of this thing is working. All right, it's much more convenient, right? Maybe on a given day you only have 10 rupees in your pocket, so you don't want to go. You don't have 300 rupees. You cannot buy that bottle. But then why should you be buying that bottle? Why? Why not buy this? I'm sorry.
People doesn't calculate. Most of them don't calculate.
Now, very good. Now you see, now you got to be careful here. We especially, when I say we, I'm including myself, okay? We always tend to think that the intellectuals know better than others. The common person doesn't know, I know it better. So many times I've heard this argument, and I don't know if it's a valid argument or what, but many times you hear the argument that only the educated people should be allowed to do certain things. Meaning to say, somebody gets elected, my God, how can the Janta elect we were talking about politics yesterday, right? How can Janta elect somebody like him? Right? But the point is, if you go back to the back, there's a gentleman here who says, economic theory says, everybody is a rational being. Therefore, that person that you said does not calculate, actually calculates. And somehow has figured out that it's, for whatever reason, the value proposition, folks, it's no longer about the volume, it's no longer about the price. It's about the value. The value that you have, the bottle, the value that the bottle has is different from the value that the sachet has. Very different. Must be. Okay? They are not the same product. They are not the same product. And I think this thing, will very well. All right? Everybody see that here. Now, I'm still waiting for Dr. Arun Kumar to tell me formally we have started. Okay? All right.
I just want to add, sir, this innovation was brought by a small company called, it was introduced as chick shampoo in Tamil Nadu, sir. This
Yes.
innovation. So then they fought the multinational giants and they have built an FMCG brand called Cabin Care.
Very good.
So it was something like this was introduced. It's a homegrown innovation from Tamil Nadu.
Absolutely. Absolutely. See, that's what it is. That's what we have to appreciate this. Please don't think innovation is only happening in a far place called United States. No, innovation is happening right in our backyards. Right in our backyards. I can give you small examples and I can give you big examples. All right? But the point would be, where you are, the point is, where you are, some of this thing comes and goes. The point is, where we are, there's still opportunity, huge opportunities for innovation. When you look at a product like this, what is it used for? What's the use for this? For washing the hair. But you use this at home? Do you use this in the hospitals? Do you use this in the hotels? Where do you use this? Right?
Traveling.
Very good. So the thing would be, if you have a product like this and it is being used only in one environment, only in one place. Innovation would also be try to say the same product can be used in another environment. Okay? All right. I'll give one example of value, and then I need to move on because today's lecture, folks, is a key lecture on innovation. So we're going to talk about innovation. We're going to talk about inventions and much more. So here's the deal. Let's say what? Let's say you are in a desert. Can somebody name the desert we have in Rajasthan? Thar. Very good. So you are in the middle of Thar. Okay, middle of Thar, standing there, and right now it's the month of May, June. All right, and the time is 2 p.m. No shade. The temperature is 55 degrees. 55 degrees. What's going to happen? You're going to sweat like crazy, right? You're going to sweat like crazy. And when you sweat like crazy, you get thirsty. Now you're thirsty. Look around. You forgot to bring any water. Nothing. You got nothing on you. Maybe you're changing my battery or the battery of this. Perfect. Right. Okay, so we are still in Thar. Okay. Now you're thirsty. 55 degrees. Right? 55 degrees. I come around. Now you're kind of like, my God, thirst. I come around on a camel. All right? And you say, hurry. You have water. I say, yeah, I have water. Can you sell me a bottle? Right? I say, okay, fine. Now typically Bisleri. By the way, guys, water is a huge business. It's incredible. The amount of money that is made in water is incredible. Okay? But we'll talk about water another time. Let's talk about Thar. So you say, Hari, can you sell me a bottle of water? I say, yeah, sure. What's the price? What's the price? Thar. Remember, 55 degrees. All right? And I say 20,000 rupees. And you say, this darn bottle is, how much you pay for a 1 liter of Bisleri? 20 rupees? 25 rupees? 20,000 rupees. Question is, will you pay?
Yes.
Yes. Everybody understands that yes. Why will you pay? Why will you pay, ma'am?
Scarcity of
Need to
resources.
survive.
There is a need to survive that supersedes all needs. Question of life and death. So therefore, the value in that bottle of water is not that it quenches your thirst. The value that that bottle of water is for you at that instant of time, it saves your life. Everybody sees that here. Okay? So you have to understand and appreciate value. Not so much, and you have to. There's no other choice. Otherwise, you won't be able to create value. Let me give you one more example. I had a PhD student doing his PhD with me. All right? So one day he says, Prof, you're always talking about money. So why? Why always talk about money? It's okay. I give you a simple argument. Very simple. Right? You have to keep things very simple for people to be able to understand and appreciate. So it's a simple argument. Say, you are here, my PhD student. Now suppose somebody comes to my office right now and says, he was a Chinese student, forget the name. Let's just call him Mr. Chan. All right, hey Chan, kill the professor. I give you $1. Kill the professor. I give you $1. Don't think about the fellow will be caught, whatever. Don't worry about this. Okay? $1. That's it. Chan, you're gonna get $1 if you kill me. Will you kill me? What's the answer? No. Right? No. What are you talking about? Of course not. I'm doing PhD with you. It's okay, no problem. Now $10,000. Will you kill me? The answer is no. It's okay, good. I feel you feel safe, right? When somebody's gonna kill you for $10,000, my God. You say, okay, Chan, keep moving. $1 million. Then Then he says, you know what his answer was? He says, no problem, I'm beginning to think about it. Okay? So you have to understand all of these things. That's human psyche. Alright? I'm not here to sort of lecture you on technology. I'm here to lecture you on human aspects of technology and how you're going to go about harnessing it, your advantage, and to the advantage of society. And folks, all of you guys will remember, we are formally in session now. All of you guys will remember, per sachet, you buy it at 150 rupees a liter. But if you were to buy it in a big bottle, you need about 300 rupees to buy a bottle. That's about 600 milliliters. Go figure that out. All right? Go figure that out. It's incredible. So you have to. So you have to understand value proposition. You have to. All right? And please understand this. Everybody is a rational being. We have already argued that. So therefore, we will not come around and try to capitalize on the stupidity of people. People are not stupid. People are rational. Okay? So you have to use the rationality argument on people. You're not entitled to, you're not allowed to use the argument of stupidity. Nobody is stupid. Alright? Everybody's good on this. Alright. So today is lecture 3, second day, and we're going to keep it, hopefully keep it interactive. Right? Interactive means you guys, even after eating your lunch, I don't know where you guys go for your lunch, you guys would still not be sitting in the back taking a nap, right? You guys still will be talking, attentive, participate, and so on and so forth. All right. So the starting words. We can talk about opportunities, how you go about identifying, generating it, and evaluation of these opportunities. And some simple techniques. Folks, the idea would be that you have to keep things simple. Don't make things very complicated. All right. We're going to see some simplicity in ideas. Let's see how it goes. All right. So just a recap, very quick recap. We've talked about these product themes, and you have already started to think, right? Remember, you have to. We're going to place you here, and you will have to share with the rest of the class what your idea is. So how so many ideas you have in your mind? Do a quick assessment and pick one. And that one idea that you pick, you're going to stand here and you're going to share with the rest of the class. All right. So those are the product themes. But you don't have to. You don't have to listen to me. You have to listen to yourself. So don't think that I'm confining you by giving you 5 or 6 bullets. I'm not confining you at all. You create your own bullet. All right? Okay, keep moving. Lots of opportunities, guys. Lots of opportunities. It's incredible. Some of the opportunities you say, my God, I thought of this thing 5, 10 years ago. And today, there is a company. All right? That does it. And all of these companies, by the way, nobody here, if I would, I have actually, I brought it with me. I have an old television set. It's about 25 kilos. 25 kilos of electronics. And it's amazing amount of electronics in that 25 kilos. The screen size is, I think, about 32 inches. But it's 25 kilos because it's very deep. If I were to give it to you as a gift, will you use it? It's a lot of electronics. Will you use it? Yes, no? No. Why not? You said no. Why not?
Because it's like it's heavy. First of all, it's very hard to handle. Second, we have got much more better option now. So there is no option for previous one.
Very good.
And we are used to some better. We are used to some better displays and better experiences which we don't have on that.
Okay, folks, someone else wants to add to this? Go ahead, sir.
Sir, I will use it, but only as an antique.
As an
Antique piece.
As an antique piece. Okay, very good. By the way, on the subject of antique piece, if you have the first generation of an iPhone, if you have an iPhone from the very first generation in good condition, it sells for $10,000 US. You can make $10,000 US. So there is value in antique.
2007 model iPhone.
Yes. Remember this time they had iPhone X, right? That was the 10th year of launch of iPhone. Right. Okay. Very good. It's antique. But do you see, nobody appreciates the electronics. She actually described it in very human terms. right? She said it's very heavy, right? She didn't appreciate the electronics, which is very heavy. There is better things out there, right? There are better things out there. So these are all human things. So we humans are very clever people, and therefore, whatever it is that you do, you have to assess and evaluate. And why? Because we're talking about evaluation. The dimension of evaluation is not a technical dimension. And we're going to keep coming back to that theme. It's not a technical dimension. It's a human dimension. And we're going to remember that. Okay, very good. Let's keep rolling here. All these different sort of ways of coming out with new products, there can be lot many out there. Okay? And folks, please don't think that all these people who are sitting at the very top of the, the likes of Bill Gates and the likes of whoever, don't think for a moment that they can see more than what you can see. All right? No such thing. Biologically, your eyes can see as well as Bill Gates' eyes. Your mind can think as well as Bill Gates' mind, and so on and so forth. Okay? So please don't think that all these things are happening only in Silicon Valley, only in Redmond, in Washington, and so on and so forth. No such thing. All of it can happen here. If there can be a Silicon Valley, there can definitely be a Silcher Valley. Okay? You see, there's a lot of words that are common anyways to begin with. Okay, so we talked about the IDEO, design thinking, and so on and so forth, right? And the key thing here was that you don't have to build the entire product to be able to get a sense of how well that product be received in the marketplace. You don't have to build it. That's important. Why? Because building the product can be a very, very expensive exercise. But simulating the product, right? You can do some drawings, you can do some animation, you can do some graphics, you can do some role play, and so on and so forth. Conveying a sense of what that product can do for the customers, for your investors, and so on. That's much easier, much simpler, right? Much more cost effective, much more resource effective, and so on. All right. Okay, so we talked about this, right? This circle and so on. But we want to bring this to a close, this conversation about design thinking. So one, by the way, did you guys see this somewhere? Conceive of a fully developed marketplace. Did you see this quote somewhere? How many of you read that article on design thinking? The one that is sitting in your thumb drive, right? How many of you know there's a thumb drive in your bag? That was given to you. Okay, very good. So you got the thumb drive and you said, well, they gave about 50 MB of files. The rest of the capacity I can use, right? Folks, did anybody read that article on design thinking? This is a quote about Thomas Alva Edison. Okay, what exactly is he known for? Can somebody name one invention? Light bulb. Very good. The second invention?
He has said that after invention of light bulb, he thought of only the bulb will not give him the market.
Very good.
The other people need the electricity to light it up. So he built the other parts that is needed with the bulb.
Very good. Very good. So you see, it's not enough to say, I'm going to install a solar panel and I generate electricity. Somehow you have to be able to take the electricity from the point where it's generated to the point where it's consumed. All right, so you have to think about a marketplace, not so much of an isolated invention. The infrastructure to sustain and support that invention, the infrastructure has to come around, has to happen. And then one more thing, do you guys have like a Wi-Fi router? There you are. You have a Wi-Fi router. Does anybody know what color is that Wi-Fi router? White. Do you know how many millimeters of dust it has gathered? You clean it often? Nobody cleans the Wi-Fi. Okay, very good. There could be spiders inside, right? And so on, right? So, do you care for the spiders inside the router? Folks, yes or no? No. Why don't you care? We use a router far more than we use a mobile phone.
But we don't use it in handwriting.
Very good. We never see it. As long as it works, We don't care whether there is one spider or there is 20,000 spiders sitting inside. As soon as it stops, that's when we open it up to clean it. All right. So router, because it's away from our touch, it's away from our senses. As long as it just keeps pushing the bits and the bytes, we don't care for the rest of it. So that is purely a product of function. There's no form. But mobile phone, we carry this all the time. All the time. It's incredible. So this mobile phone is with us. We touch it. We feel it. It defines who we are. It's our status symbol. If I were to ask anybody here, may I borrow your mobile phone? Would you trust me with your phone? The answer is, coach, your great defense on this, huh? No, I'm just kidding. Of course not. You see how critical that device is to you. To the extent, I mean, I'm telling you. Now, frankly speaking, I do a lot of telecoms, but I don't care. Okay? So I have this mobile phone, and you can see the cover. It's kind of like falling apart. It doesn't bother me, but it bothers my wife a lot. You know why it bothers my wife? Because some of her friends have commented, how come Hari is, carrying this kind of thing? You don't take good care of him or what? So the impression people have is that my wife doesn't take good care of me because I have a lousy mobile phone cover. Go figure that out. But that's what it takes. All right? So therefore, whenever you have a product that's close to you, that you see, touch, feel, that others see you, touch, feel, you have to think design. All right? The function is all there. So don't think you're compromising on the function, but the form becomes critical. Now, as soon as something begins to approach my body, I become more conscious. So let's take one more example. You wear glasses, man. Do you wear glasses all the time? Or do you also have contact lenses?
Get glasses sometimes.
Okay, glasses. Are you okay with, so glasses means there is a certain number, right, associated with the lens. Is that it? Or do you care for the shape of the glasses and so on?
The shape and color of the glasses.
The shape, the color, how well it goes, does it make me look good, smart, whatever. All right? Why? Because every time I see somebody, if you are wearing glasses, I see them. And you also know that my glasses is very personal. You see this here. All right? So glasses become very personal. You name another product. Watches become very personal. Right? Somebody sees me with this, I don't know, 20 rupee watch. By the way, watches is a curious story. Do you guys know, can you buy a watch for like 50 rupees? Probably yes. It will probably be, it's one chip inside. It's an electronic watch. There's a lot of electronics that goes into that 50 rupee watch, but you buy it for 50 rupees. How about, say, Rolex? Is Rolex electronic? No, it's a mechanical watch. How much does it sell for? $50,000. Go figure that out. And they all tell the same time. So it's not about the function. It's about the form. All right, so we can remember this. And that's where design thinking will sort of emerge. All right, I can give another example. Something that is very personal to people. Very, very personal. Okay, so very personal is three things. Right? The first thing is called roti. So roti is very personal. Right? So I say roti is personal, meaning to say I eat roti for lunch, I don't eat roti for dinner. Okay? Well, I'm a vegetarian, therefore I don't eat meat. Well, I'm okay to eat chicken. I am a vegetarian, but I also don't eat onions because onions are grown under the ground, and so on and so on. You guys see what I'm saying? Right? You never argue food is food. Never argue. It's personalized consumption. Very personalized. Why? Because it goes inside your body. Kapra, another very critical thing, very personal. Alright? Do we just buy anything, any piece of cloth? Or shirt? These days there's no cloth, right? You don't go for darji and stitching, right? We're going to talk about it. There are huge opportunities in that conversation. But for now, there is no such thing as go for stitching, right? Unless it's like a very special occasion, that's when you go for stitching, right? So when my son was getting married, he says, Dad, you have to wear a tuxedo. Okay, tuxedo. Where do I go tuxedo? He said, don't worry about it. We have arranged for it. And that was the first time and the only time I went to a tailor shop in the US. He was getting married in the US. First time and the only time I've been to a tailor shop in the US to get the suit tailored to tailored to my physical dimensions. Otherwise, you just buy it off the rack, right? Okay, very good. But we still are very sensitive to the clothes that we wear, right? Very clear to everybody, right? Okay, folks, opportunities. We're going to talk about opportunities. That's the starting point. We can also talk about, regardless of how you see this, you can also say, we start with a problem. I observe a certain problem, and that would be the starting point. Howsoever you define a starting point, right? But let's just call opportunities. And I think I would like to give a lecture on motivation. Maybe I think we'll have lots of time next week. So when we talk about motivation, I'm going to come back and say opportunities. What's the Hindi word for opportunity?
Mocha.
Mauka. Very good. Now there could be folks. Please don't think that I'm biased in favor of Hindi versus I don't like other languages. No such thing. All right. Just that my Hindi is better than my Bangla, and my Hindi definitely is better than my Assamese. But yesterday I learned a few Assamese things. For example, my name, if I say Hori, it becomes Assamese. Okay, so then you realize that learning of the language is not so difficult. Okay, so opportunity is mauka, but there is other things in the world out there. There is also dhanda. There is also jua, right? These are all the different ways you can make money. All right, we'll talk about all of those things. But opportunities. So, for example, you say we live in Silchar, and if I look around, there is nobody selling ice cream. As an example, nobody selling ice cream within 10-kilometer radius. So you take NIT as the main point. Within 10-kilometer radius, nobody is selling ice cream. Is that an opportunity? We sell ice cream. All right, very good. All right, so we can sell ice cream. But then you're going to say, is it okay for me to sell ice cream? Then you say, if we talk about how there's no shop in so much distance, the shop will do such huge business, right? So one thing is opportunity. The other is you personalize that opportunity for yourself. And you say, is it opportunity for me? Now, opportunity can be a lot of things. But opportunity for me is a much, much, much smaller subset of opportunity. Then you have to come up with some ideas. You have to evaluate those ideas and eventually, all right, settle on maybe one or two. Here, in this course, because we are looking at product design, we have defined opportunity as idea for a new product. But folks, that's not the only opportunity that we have. Lots of different ways of defining opportunity. All right, lots of it. All right, opportunities. Look at this. These are all the great men and women that have gone before us. You see, what are they saying? Look at a couple of them. The first one, the diesel electric engine will never replace the steam locomotive. So somebody says, we have a steam locomotive, it is so darn good that there will never be diesel electric engine. Now these are all people, by the way, these are people who are very, very top-known leaders of their time. So don't think that these are kind of like people who were ignorant. These are people who were right there. They were leading the businesses. All right. So locomotive. What's happening in India today? Is there a steam locomotive in India right now? The answer is no. All right. India has moved on. All right. India actually, in fact, slowly it's moving away from diesel also. All right. So electric. Very good. You see, these are people who are looking. I don't know how you say this. You understand the phrase crystal ball? You go to these people, they tell you your future, you give some money, and they look into the ball, they see some sparks of light here and there, and they tell you what your future is going to be. So these are people who are looking into the crystal ball. All right? And these people claim to know where the heck things are going. All right? Look at the next one. Thomas Watson. President, this is a fellow who started IBM. Everybody knows IBM, right? Needs no introduction. I think there is a world market for maybe 5 computers. 5 computers? Incredible. I'm sure right now if I were to do a count, there is probably 10, 15 computers right now. Maybe more. Why? Because you call it a mobile phone. Actually, your mobile phone today is more powerful than the laptop from 5 years ago. Much more powerful. All right. So if I were to count the number of people in this room, myself included, we have at least that many computers. All right. So Thomas J. Watson, president of IBM, incredible. Look at the statement. The next one. This is even more incredible. Digital Equipment Corporation, DEC. So when I was in the US in the 80s, DEC was seen to be a competitor to IBM. Look at the statement from the president of the company, founder of the company. There is no reason anybody would want to have a computer in their home. Wow. So what happens? Have you guys heard of DEC? DEC, is there somebody who has heard of DEC? You are the only one. Okay. Okay. But DEC is gone for good reason. Right? So the time as society moves on, those who don't walk with the society, they are kind of swept away. No, they are swept away like this morning I requested somebody to come to my room to clean it up. So they came with a jharu. You know what a jharu is? Right? So they came with a jharu. And all these people, they get wiped like dust particles. Get wiped out from the jharu. Okay? They were not going on with the time. Alright. So the point would be, and here is the point. These guys are predicting the future, but they are way off the mark. So don't think that these guys have the right to predict the future. They don't. I have lots of examples, guys. Lots of examples. Alright? Now, DC is gone. No longer. IBM is no longer that dominant giant in the world of computing as it once was. Alright? So all of these, there will be stories, and I'll have more stories to tell. Alright? But what IBM did not see, and what IBM did not care for, created an opportunity for a company like Microsoft. Alright? Company like Microsoft. So it comes around because IBM didn't care. They didn't see it. They didn't see personal computing happen. They didn't see. Remember this? About computers. They didn't see personal computing. Microsoft saw it. All right? Lots of opportunities. Now, let's talk about something else. Microsoft did not see internet coming. They didn't see it. I mean, you say, how can they miss it? But they did. Okay, they did. So what happens? So opportunity opens up for a company like Google. All right? Google did not see social networking come around. Gave rise to opportunity to a company like Facebook. All right? And on the story goes. I can give you lots of stories like that. The point would be, let me raise the question to you. So we're talking about opportunities and how well people identify opportunities. Is this story a good story or a bad story for you guys?
It's a good story.
It's a good story. Why is it a good story?
Because it gives us the experience that one should not assume something just by the present nature. It can be something else for the future.
Very good. Future, folks, is unpredictable. If you could predict the future, we don't know what form of shape the human society will have. All right? So today, when somebody says, your ideas are no good, their version or their view of the future may be very, very different from your view or your version of the future. Okay? So this thing is a very positive story for you guys. It tells you that the giants can be wrong. And when the giants are wrong, there are opportunities for the small players to come around. Okay? We will also have something to say about the way Charles Darwin has seen the evolution. But the point would be that very few companies will survive the test of time. Very few. So when we talk about companies like IBM, General Electric, we talk about Microsoft to some extent, and so on. These are all companies that have survived the test of time to some extent. But out of millions of companies that are formed, Only 5, 6, 10, 15, 20. Only a handful survive. The rest will die out. Right? And remember, dying out of a company is not a bad deal. It's actually a good deal. All right? Why is it a good deal? Because if there were still dinosaurs on this earth, there will not be any space for us. Dinosaurs had to go away. They had to create that room. They served their purpose, and they had to go extinct for a new species to come around. Okay? Everybody sees that here. So that's how this whole thing is going to play out. So please, whenever you see opportunities, value your opportunities first before someone else will value those opportunities. As, my God, what a great thing. Okay? All right. Folks, where are these opportunities coming from? So lots of different places. Right? So let's say you work in a company, your company internally knows the problems, they talk to the customers, they come with the problems, they try to solve them. Okay? So that would be one way opportunities come around. You look at the competition. Competition has a lot of products. So you can learn from the competition, from their products, and you come up with ideas. The ideas can come from universities. Remember the push and the pull. So universities are the perfect ground. Universities are perfect ground in many ways. One way they are perfect ground is all these professors and all their PhD students and so on, they are actually, regardless of where they are, because there is no such thing as my research is relevant only in a small way. So whatever research you do is global. Okay? So whatever research these guys are doing, they used to be at the cutting edge of technology. But the edge is no longer cutting. Now what is it called? It's called the bleeding edge of technology. Now it's bleeding. All right? So therefore, certain technologies will have commercial value. Certain technology. I will also share some of my own startup companies that I have done, and I have to be able to sort of explain the value creation in terms of not so much, we take the mobile phone, we do this to that, but more like make everybody understand and appreciate what the value could be for them if they were to use the phone. Okay, we'll see. Lots of different places opportunities are coming from. Okay, so what happens? And folks, this is something that will happen all the time. You have 3,000 of these ideas. 3,000. All right? And out of those 3,000 ideas, the raw ideas, very raw. These are the ideas like when you sit down for a cup of Assam chai, you talk to peers, how about this, how about that, right? Those ideas. 3,000 of them. 3,000. All right, and then you're going to start writing. And as you write, you're going to realize, these days, it's actually, the life is kind of like sweet. You have an idea. The first thing you do is Google. And you can figure out if others have done it or not. All right, where exactly that idea is on this earth. Right? So you go around, you're going to write it up. Maybe you go through some trials, some projects. Maybe some of these 3,004 will be developed, one will be launched, 2 will be launched, one success. So the mathematical equation of ideas starts from the left, 3,000 ideas. It ends with a right, one idea. So is this a good story or a bad story? Folks, is it a good story or a bad story? It's a good story. Remember, there will never be a bad story. A bad story is never told. It's always a good stories that are told. This is a good story, very good story. Why is it a good story? There is success at the end. So rather than focus on the starting point in the funnel and has 3,000 things going in, we focus on the out, what comes out of that funnel. That's one success. It's not so bad. It also tells you, if you think 3,000 ideas, one of them is good. But it does not tell you how to go about figuring out which one of the 3,000 that you thought of is a good one. That's your genius. All right? So your genius, you're not substituting your genius for anything else. You got to be smart, you got to be sharp. But it's all there. Okay? It's all there. Now, let's compare this. There are lots of examples, 3,000 to 1. Let's just see. There is pharmaceutical. They spend a lot of money, 10,000 to 1. Whether this side is all one. 10,000 to 1 in pharmaceuticals. Movies, about, I don't know, about 200 movies, one becomes hit. Or remember, 200 movies not produced, but 200 movies conceptualized. Right? Somebody writes a script and so on, and then they try to, that's the starting point for a movie, the script. Right? So 200, one movie. Industrial products, about, I don't know, 80, 90 of them, and so on and so forth. You see these curves, and you say, do I stand a chance? And the early phase, folks, guys, the early phase, which is the selection phase, is the phase of innovation. The development process is the phase of execution. Right? So early on, you're thinking ideas, and ideas are unconstrained. Your imagination is not constrained, right? Your imagination is free. So what you see in the beginning is very free, but what you see here is not free. It brings in resource of money, time, skills, competition, right, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of things that need to happen in the development phase. But the early phase is you. You got to figure that out. All right. So we're going to remember this equation, 3,000 to 1, and we're going to come back to it in a few seconds. All right. So let me see. You have. Okay, so 3,000 to 1. So you have 3,000 raw ideas, raw opportunities, and you're going to filter them at multiple stages. And eventually, you're going to get maybe 1 or 2 that are acceptable. And then you're going to have to go through the development phase. All right, 3,000 to 1. Okay, pharmaceuticals, 10,000 to 1. And that's very expensive. It's a very expensive thing, you know, pharmaceutical industry. It's very expensive to come out with new chemical compounds for curing all kinds of medical problems. But then to go through the approval process, to put your, whatever it is, the drug that you invent, to put it through some kind of an approval process. And typically the approval process is done in the US, especially if you want to target the US market. It's called FDA, the Food and Drug Administration. It takes 2 to 3 years of customer trials. It's very, very complex and it's very, very expensive. All right? So no wonder a new drug, when it comes to the market, is very expensive. They got to recover this money that they put in. Okay? Now, do you guys buy Ayurvedic products? Those are Indian products, right? Can anybody make a product and claim it to be Ayurvedic product? Is there some kind of a regulatory body in India? Yes, it is. The answer is yes. So there are regulatory bodies everywhere. Okay? Everywhere. So don't think that in India you can have it easy. You can introduce whatever product you want to introduce. Not so. Gotta be careful. Okay, 10,000 to 1. The movies. Folks, don't think Hollywood. I don't know. I can never relate to Hollywood. Hollywood is the same thing. 500 of these storylines that are pitched, one movie gets made. That's how competitive this darn thing is. Alright? 500 to 1. Okay. But this is a good story. Remember, you still have one success. Right? So if you have 3,000 ideas, you have one success. That tells you that quantity leads to quality. Rarely does it happen. But now, statistics is taking over. Alright? And the statistics is telling you, if you have 3,000 ideas, one will be a good one. Has to be. So therefore, quantity leads to quality. Therefore, keep thinking. Alright? Even if the first idea you have, the 10th idea you have, the 500th idea you have, no good. You still got to keep thinking. Alright? Cannot be discouraged. Cannot be discouraged. Okay? So let me give you an example of something we thought of. This was myself and my wife. We were thinking one night about the new things. And we were saying, we buy Coke. You know what Coke is, right? Coca-Cola. You buy a can of Coke. It's about 350 milliliters. But we never drink the whole thing. And my wife says, I don't even like Coke. I like Fanta. You know what Fanta is, right? So can we invent a can which can be like half Coke and half Fanta? So therefore, in one can, I can drink Coke and she can drink Fanta. You see, the can can be split into two. It's like two small cans into one. It can be a vertical split. It can be a horizontal split. You see what I'm saying? All right. So we thought of it, and that night we're so happy. So I think this is a good idea. We're gonna write some kind of intellectual property, and we're gonna become rich. So what's the next thing you do when you wake up? First of all, most of the time you forget what you were thinking last night, right? But this one was critical to us. Okay, we're gonna go Google, right? And then you realize the idea was thought of 20 years ago. Okay, so there is some truth in somebody telling you your ideas have already been done, but not all of them. Remember, 3,000 to 1. Okay, and I'll share a lot of my ideas. Some are still ideas. Some I've used to create enterprises. You'll see. Okay, so the funnel is clear to us, right? The funnel is clear. But look at the process here. There's a lot of planning that goes on. This is where the ideas are. All right, and this is where the development of those ideas. All right. So the early on, a lot of innovation, a lot of thinking, and then slowly you got to convert. And one will come up. So this is basically a pictorial way of representing the same thing. The early phase for any product is an innovation phase. The phases that come later on are development phases and implementation phases. Okay? And the skill set, therefore, that you need, the skill set is very different. The early stages, you need people who innovate. The latter stages, you don't need people who innovate. The latter stages, you need people who execute. They're very sharp in marketing, they're sharp in finance, they're sharp in human skills, networking, and so on and so forth. All right? So even the skill set, the composition of a team will become different as you go through this entire process. Okay? So give an example. This is a company that does cat toy products. I'm told that Assam, Silchar has a lot of cats. As explained to me this afternoon, Silchar has a lot of cats because apparently one of the common foods here is fish. Is that correct? And cats love fish. Is that correct? I don't know. That's how it was explained to me. All right, but the point is, you have to understand the cat psyche. If you want to do, if you want to do a cat toy product, you have to understand the cat psyche. And by the way, please don't think that a cat psyche is same as a dog psyche. Right? They are not the same animal. Very different. All right, very, very different. So you got to understand. Now here's a company, and I don't know if you've seen this. This kind of like a laser pointer, and it keeps moving randomly. Right? And the cat, they just, with the, what do you call this thing? Paw, right? Paw. PAW. With the paw, they try to catch it. They can never catch it, but then it engages the cat. All right? So the idea would be, so this was a well-established product. Now, same company says, okay, now by the way, when you say well-established product, it's not just the product. It's also the people behind the product. It's also the distribution channels. It's also the retailers, right? What kind of shops will sell this product? Is it being sold online and so on? So when you say the product is set, it's set in many different ways. All right, but eventually it's completely all done. It's been going on for many years and so on. But now the company says, I want to do another product. Now, the company wants to innovate. Next product. But the company also has to understand that the people that you have are good in cats, but they may be no good in dog. We just don't know. We don't have the skills for doing a dog product. So they're going to stick to a cat product. All right? But they want to engage the cat. So how do you engage the cat? The final product, it was very curious, and you can see, I'm not going to play this. You can see the video online, in YouTube, of course. Okay? So they came out with a product that basically attaches to a table. You have a table, it attaches to the table through a magnet, right? And then little ball that hangs down, and the cat can lie and play with it. And basically it swings back and forth. And there's a little, what do you call this? Gunro? Or a little, what's the other word for it? You understand Google, right? You say, so let's just keep moving. So this little thing, you hear it, it makes noise. So it engages the cat. So again, it's a physical activity that engages the cat. But key thing is, even a company like this did not go to a dog product. You have to understand what exactly your strength is. And we're going to talk about your strength later on. Okay? But see how it goes. So there are a lot of different ideas. A lot of different ideas. Sit around, there are 50 raw opportunities. They ask around, they see what the competition is going. So one is internal to the organization. I see my people, I talk to them, and I talk to people, or I see people, activities, competition outside. So inside and outside makes a wholesome thing. You see 50 opportunities of a different kind. You develop 1, 2, 3 of these. You develop the prototype. You test those prototypes. How do you test the prototype? With the cat. Very good. Because the cat owner, you have to convince the cat owner. Remember, the cat owner is the customer. But you have to convince the cat owner that your cat will be so much happier. You were talking about happiness yesterday. The cat will be so much happier if the cat will to be sort of given this toy as a gift. The starting point, the starting point here is for you to create a mission statement. You have to have a sense of focus and a sense of purpose. All right? Nothing is an open-ended opportunity, and we saw that in the IDEO video also. Nothing is open-ended. You're going to see this. A mission statement. You see the mission statement? Let's read this together. Okay, is this letter big enough for the people in the back? Create a physical product. So it's a physical product. It could also be virtual these days. Physical product, where are you creating it? In the cat toy category. You're going to do another toy, but you're not going beyond the cat because you understand the cat. All right? In the cat toy category, you can launch within 1 year. So you don't want to spend more than 1 year developing it. 1 year. There's a window. So you have to do this, right? IDEO was, how many days did they have? They had 5 days, right? Monday through Friday. So within 1 year. And how do they distribute this product? They are not going to invent the business model, the distribution channels, and so on. They will work with the existing channels. All right, so it's clear to them. So you also, whenever you want to do anything like this, you want to harness, right, that innovation that you have come up with, you have to sort of say, I have a certain mission statement. Okay, we are not here to fail, but we are also here to sort of do things in an intelligent way. All right? So, a certain timeline needs to be honored. Why? Because we have already argued this. Time is the greatest resource that we have. Greatest resource. All right? So, cannot be seen to be wasting that resource away. That's one thing. And I want to sort of say something more about, we're going to have a lecture on economic theory, I think next week. It's too early to talk about economics. But have you heard the phrase that says, don't throw good money after bad? Have you heard that phrase? Don't throw good money after bad. What does that mean? Don't throw good money after bad. Okay, nobody has heard that phrase. Don't throw good money after bad. Meaning to say, you lost some money. Howsoever you lost. So let's say you're doing a business, you lost some money in that business. And now you say, if I were to spend another, let's say you lost 1 lakh rupees. Now you say, if I were to invest 1 more lakh, I can get back 2, meaning I can recover my money. That is considered bad decision making. Okay, why? Because you're throwing your 1 lakh of good money that you have in your pocket in an attempt to try to recover your bad money that you've already lost. So your decision making cannot be based on trying to recover from the past losses. All right, same thing with time. Folks, please don't throw. Understand this and understand this well. And we'll talk about opportunity cost. Don't throw away your good time after bad time. Very basic resources here. Cannot do that. Okay, let's keep moving. All right. So where do these ideas come from? All right. You saw the in the IDEO video, right? They had these things printed, right? Don't criticize people people and so on, right? They had them pasted on the wall all around, right? So the question is, where do these ideas come from? Where? And how do I understand which of these ideas are good, which of these ideas are bad? There is also innovation. Folks, innovation is kind of a crazy thing. So there is something called innovation. Then, of course, these university professors they have to publish. So they cannot publish what has been published before, right? They got to find something new. So a university professor in Harvard says, oh, innovation is already done. So I'm going to coin a phrase called disruptive innovation. And we'll talk about disruptive innovation. And then somebody will come out with a phrase called reverse innovation. I don't know. But it's crazy. But you have to understand these phrases. What do they mean? Because that's where the opportunities will come from. The opportunities sometimes will be sitting in front of your eyes. But sometimes you have to sort of apply your own intelligence to figure out what these opportunities are. Okay? So both of them. And then of course, technology. Some of these are very extreme technologies, and they would give rise to their own set of very radical innovations. Let's talk about disruptive a little bit. And then I want to sort of close the circle on innovation. So disruptive innovation. Where do I go? Where do I go? You guys, have you guys used 5.5-inch diskettes for the computer? Remember, these days you have still a diskette. You have a thumb drive. Floppies. Very good. Floppies. But now today, if you want to store something, you don't store it on a floppy, right? You have a thumb drive, and the capacity is nobody knows, unlimited. 50 GB is unlimited to me. It's amazing. Okay, and we'll say something about how thirsty you are for that. It's incredible. When I grew up and Sholay came around, we had to wait for 6 months for Sholay to appear in Roorkee because they had limited prints. Today, when you have a release, does it not get released everywhere simultaneously? Right? Nobody has to carry the film. In those days they had to carry the film from city to city. Today, do they carry the film? No, it's all digital. All digital. All right? Why am I bringing up Sholay? Because this afternoon, as I was getting ready to come here, they were playing Sholay. All right, in one of the channels. All right, so wow. But the point would be that today, in those days, I was happy to wait for 6 months to watch Sholay. Today, if you want to watch Sholay, are you happy to wait for 6 months? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. All right? Lots of opportunities. Let's come back to floppy. The original floppy, what was the size? 5.5 inch. 5.5 inch floppy. Now you guys may not even remember this. And of course, good reasons. And thumb drive is a crazy invention. 5.5 inch. But then 5.5 inch. Somebody said, no, 5.5 inch is no good. They were not talking about the capacity of how many bits you can store. They were saying 5.5 inch physically is no good. They shrank it. To what size? 3 and a?
3 and half. 3 and half.
3 and?
3 and half.
What do you mean?
3 and half. 3 and half. 3 and
Came to 3 and a. 5.5 became 3.25 inch. 3.25 inch. Okay? Now, so they shrank the size. Remember, they didn't shrink any physical characteristic in terms of data storage. It actually was storing less data. But 3.25 inch, that was an inferior solution. That's the key. It was an inferior solution from the standpoint of amount of data it could store. It was inferior. But why did it take off? It killed 5.5 inch floppies. 3.25 inch. So what happened there? An inferior product. All right, that's the key. Based on the capacity of how much data you can store, you now had an inferior product, which beat out a superior product. So, was it a fluke? Was it a chance? How come? What is the reason? Come on, guys. It could not be you want to store less. Cannot be the reason, right? Everybody wants to store more. So, how come 5.5 inch got beat by 3.25 inch?
Because the human comfort.
Got to say something more. It's an incredible reason.
Convenient to keep in a pocket and carry somewhere else.
Very good. The size of the upper pocket, it can take 3.5 inch. Sorry, 3.25 inch. I'm sorry. Exactly right. It was convenient. So you're now measuring the product, the value of the product, not in terms of the size, right? Not in terms of the size of, I can store a file of this size. It's not the capacity of storage. It's the convenience of use. I can put it in my upper pocket and I can carry it. All right? Everybody see that here. So whenever you look at innovation, innovation is not a linear thing. You cannot say today I have a thumb drive, 1 GB. I innovate, I get 2 GB. I innovate, I get 4 GB. That's not where the innovation is. All right? So you have to be very clear. Innovation and the value and the assessment and the evaluation, all of those things have to take place along the dimension of humans. Got to be very clear on this stuff. All right? So that's all disruptive. There's a lot of other instances of disruptive innovation. Okay? Many, many times, an inferior product will beat out a superior product. Okay? And let me give one more example, and then I need to move on. One more example is the example of mobile phones versus landline phones. When you talk on mobile phones, wait, first of all, do you guys still use landline phones? No, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So those people in the back, right? They yes. How about people in the front? No.
I have it in my home.
You have it in your home. Okay, very good. All right, folks. So since maybe you use both mobile phones as well as landline. The voice. Which phone gives you better voice quality?
Landline. Both are same.
Sir, your ears, now please get them fixed. Okay, no, that's exactly the point. Okay, we're going to do that in a second. That's exactly the point. Actually, eventually it converges to what you just said. Okay, which gives you better voice quality?
Landline.
Landline. Landline gives you, and I can tell you technically, a landline is a better solution. Okay? Technically, it's a better solution. But then landlines have disappeared. Very few of you are using landlines. Right? So what's the reason? How come an inferior product? It's an inferior product. A mobile phone is an inferior product as compared to a landline phone in terms of voice quality. But then how come it beat? How come an inferior product in voice quality has beaten a superior product?
Because nowadays people don't stay at home for a long time, so it's a thing that we can't carry landline. And second, it's much bigger than what we are using now. Mobile phone is very much convenient to handle and go somewhere else with that.
Very good. Folks, others?
So the multimedia function of phone is much more relevant.
No need to type the numbers.
Then we can.
Very good.
Wireless.
Wireless. Okay, very good. All of these things sort of help us to make a wholesome argument. Multimedia capability, freedom, wireless. What do you say, sir?
No need to.
No need to enter numbers. Very good. Do you remember again? Phones used to be rotary phones, right? Rotary dial, and you never knew what the heck you were dialing, right? I mean, nobody knew. It's only after the phone rings and you say, "My God, it's the wrong number. I dialed it wrong." And then came punch, right? You can punch, EDMF, right? And then, of course, now you have phone books, right? Very good. So all of these things tell you that a product that is inferior in one sense, which is voice quality, is superior in many other ways. In terms of human dimension, it's a better product. All right. In fact, what what you guys were saying in terms of dialing, that's convenience. In terms of what you said, multimedia, meaning added functionalities. What was said here is quite critical. People have equated this mobile phone to freedom. To freedom. Freedom is something that we cherish, right? You remember, I think it was Balagangadhar Tilak. He said, what did he say?
Freedom is my birthright.
Freedom is my birthright. मेरा जन्म सिद्ध अधिकार है. आजादी मेरा धर्म सिद्ध अधिकार है. Right? My fundamental right. जन्म सिद्ध. Right? Something like that. Okay, that was long ago. But the point is, freedom is very fundamental to us, right? And if somebody equates a certain technology, a certain product to freedom, that's very personal. That's very, very powerful. Okay? So that's where the interpretation of a certain technology would make it relevant to the marketplace. Freedom. You have the freedom to make your call wherever you are. You have the freedom to receive your calls wherever you are. And then, of course, as soon as you get that freedom, somebody will put a mobile phone inside, a digital camera inside. Somebody will put a voice recorder inside. Somebody will put something else inside, and so on and so forth, right? But the starting point of that conversation really is voice, all right? But now, of course, you guys have all kinds of crazy multimedia applications. But the starting point still remains voice. Okay, folks, we're gonna talk about this a lot. I also need to, you guys know, in Silchar, when you get a SIM card, is it a 1G card, 2G SIM card, 3G SIM card, 4G SIM card? Where are we in Silchar?
4G.
4G, right? 4G, very good. So the companies that came up with 1G, are they still around for 2G? Are they still around for 3G? Are they still around for 4G? Folks, think about it. We're going to have an interactive session later today. We're going to talk about it. Okay, ideas. So one place is brainstorming, right? People get together and you say, hey, let's share. Let's sit down, 5-6 people, let's come up with ideas. Brainstorming. So of course, with brainstorming, if somebody comes up with an idea, you don't reject it. So there's some basic rules for brainstorming. As far as I'm concerned, one basic rule is there is no rule. All right, so you got to follow this. All right, but you follow this is no fun. You got to find your own balance. All right, because when people get together, when say 4 people get together, 4 people here is not the same thing as 4 people here, right? So therefore, you have whatever interactions you have are very personal interactions. These are very broad and general rules. Freewheeling. Remember, quantity is wanted, right? 3,000 to 1. All right, so 3,000 to 1, and so on and so forth. By the way, one more comment on 3,000 to 1. Do you guys like to play cricket or like to watch cricket? Both. Okay. So now, what do you guys think? Let's say at college level. College. Let's not go to the high schools and so on. College level. NIT. Does NIT have a cricket team? Yes. They have a cricket. Of course. They have a cricket team. All right. So let's say all these college kids and all the kids of that age want to play in T20. Is it T20 thing? T20, right? There's something called T20. I don't know what T means. A T20. 2020. That's what it's called. 2020. Okay, 2020. So they want to play in 2020. Of all the kids you have in India who are of that age in the university, what do you guys think? How many of those will reach the 2020 team? How many? Is it 3,000 to 1? Is it more? 5,000 to 1? 10,000 to 1? Remember, there's 10 players. Okay, 11 players. Let's just call it 10, right? Math is easier. 10 players. Right? 10 players. How many are playing in the college level? Let's say 10 lakh. So from 10 lakh to 10. That means 1 lakh to 1. 1 lakh is how many zeros? 5. Is that more or less than 10,000? More. Right? So the odds are that much lower. Do still people play the game? Do they still aspire to play? Do they still practice? Do they still do other things? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. Okay? So therefore, you got to think of these odds as odds in your favor, not odds against. I mean, you want to become like a movie star, and you're going to play a video on movies also. You want to become a movie star. You know how many youngsters every day arrive in Mumbai to become either a hero or a heroine? How many kids?
Thousands.
Thousands. It's actually the count is on average, huh? 3,000 kids. 3,000 kids a day. It's not 3,000 kids over 1 year, a day. Arrive in Mumbai to become a hero or a heroine. How many of those are actually becoming hero or a heroine? Is it? So of course, remember 3,000 on 1 day? You have 350 days, right? In a year, whatever.
65.
365. Okay. 365 days. Okay? So if one out of those 3,000 every day becomes a hero or a heroine, you will have 365 new heroes and heroines every year. Is that happening? The answer is no. The answer is no. Alright? But has the flow of those people stopped into Mumbai? The answer is no. Alright? So so all of these things, you have to sort of find your own personal balance. Okay? So regardless of how anxious I was to become a movie hero, I never ran away from home. Alright? I never ran away from home. First of all, if I told my mom and dad I want to become a hero, you think they will very happily sort of let go of me? The answer is no. No. So you have to somehow find your own inner strength. It's not moms and dads. Okay, beta, जाइए hero बनिए, heroine बनिए, हम आपको पैसे भेज देंगे. Nothing. They say you go to Mumbai, you're on your own. Don't even write to us. Okay? But if you happen to become big, will they come knocking on the door? Hey, beta, हमें तो पता था, from day one. So that's the way it's going to play out, guys. That's just the way it's going to play out. Okay, let's keep moving here. So this is the ideal way, right? I mean, they have their own way, but never mind. Let's stay focused on the topic, one conversation at a time, build on the ideas of others, ask for permission, not for, ask for forgiveness, not for permission, all kinds of things. Okay, so somebody looks at, these days, especially those of us who are doing research, there's something called data science. It has become very popular. Big data, whatever that means. But big data is not a new thing. People have been studying big data for the longest time. Okay? So somebody in the 40s and the 50s analyzed inventions. Now typically, you have to formally document an invention. You cannot say, I have an invention sitting in my drawer. No such thing. You have to document it. All right? And you have to publish it. So we are talking about published inventions. So somebody analyzed about 400,000 of these published inventions. I'm calling them published inventions. It's basically patents. So somebody analyzed 400,000 patents, 4 lakh patents. And they said, what are the common elements of inventions? Okay, what's going on? All right, and we have a full set of lectures coming up on inventions also, on patents. But for now, they analyzed it. They said, what are the common elements when people invent, when they get patents, and so on? Are there some common threads? Are there some guidelines that can help people sort of create their own inventions for the problems that they are facing? And the answer came back, yes. So there is a systematic way to invent. There is a way to engage in inventive thinking. All right? And it's very curious. How can you sort of structure inventions? But the down answer comes back, you can. Okay? So this was a Russian, you would call him scientist, data analyst, call him whatever. So analyzed it, all right, between 46 and 85. And it was basically research done on patterns. And they came up with a theory, a full-blown theory. And we're not going to go through a full-blown theory. Otherwise, we'll spend like our 10 days just on that theory. We're going to sort of understand the theory in a way that we can use it for our own invention. Okay? So this was systematic inventive thinking, which is the simplified version of the original theory called TRIZ, or the theory of inventive problem solving. So there's a structure now. We're going to talk about this structure. See how it goes. All right, the basic idea. You know, we do this in engineering a lot. We talk about trade-offs. All right. So, say for example, you can say the trade-off between force and the weight of the hammer. All right. So what happens? If you have a heavier hammer, it's a bigger force, right? So we always try to sort of trade off, and we try to strike at a certain balance, right? So you say, okay, a lighter hammer, lesser force, but I need so much force, so this is the weight of the hammer. Okay, very good. What these guys do, so they are looking at all of these things are called conflicts. So you talk about a certain volume, certain weight, certain strength, certain amount of current, certain amount of size, whatever these basic parameters are, you call them as engineering parameters. The fellow identified 39 of them. And they said these parameters are always in conflict, always in conflict. And then they came out with a 39. They listed these parameters, 39 this way, 39 that way. And therefore, they had a huge matrix. In the boxes, right? You go this way, this parameter, this way, this parameter. In the boxes, they entered basic strategies for conflict resolution. Okay? Conflict resolution. So, they came out with some high-level strategies, 40 of them. So, depending on the box you're talking about, they will come out with which of these 40 would be applicable. But there's a total of 40. All right? And then there are standards that are ideas based on the past solutions, and there are physical effects that they have. So very simple and very systematic. All right? So now it becomes very simple, it becomes very structured, and therefore you can write a piece of software. So there's a lot of software that's available, all right, in the marketplace for engaging in TRIZ. The basic, I'm not going to go through, line by line, 39 of these, create the matrix. By the way, if you have a 39 by 39 matrix, how many conflicts are there? 39 by 39, right? 39 cross 39. That's a lot of conflicts. So I cannot go through each conflict and then say which strategy is applicable. That's not the intent here. Idea would be, and here's the idea. So we always say, think out of the box. Think out of the box. Meaning what? What does it mean? Think out of the box. So we always conceive of a box. And typically the box is conceived to be around a certain problem. So you have a certain problem that you're trying to solve, and the problem is sitting inside the box. And the idea is you think outside the box. All right? Meaning to say, in some sense, the solution is not around that problem. The solution is here. It's out of the box. This is your box. This one says exactly the opposite. This one says you have what is known as a closed world principle. Meaning to say, the solution is right around where the problem is. Don't go very far. All right? Don't go very far. And there are lots of reasons for not wanting to go very far. Okay? So don't go very far. It's a closed world principle. You're going to find the solution very close to where the problem is. All right? You have to understand the problem. You have to understand the problem. Okay, I'll give you a simple example. So you have Assam used to be very famous for oil. You still have oil coming out in Assam? You do. Very good. So let's take the example of an oil well. Typically, when you have these oil wells, sometimes they tend to catch fire. And the fire is pretty bad. Why is it so bad? Because there's oil around. It can lead to lots and lots of explosions. So how do you extinguish fire like that? By the way, what is the basic reason for fire? What do you need for fire? You need oxygen. You need oxygen. Very good. So in order for you to cut out, in order for you to sort of get rid of the fire, you have to cut out the oxygen. That's what you got to do, right? So if there is a fire, right? You have people wrapped in blankets and things like that, right? It's basically to cut off oxygen. If you cut off oxygen, fire goes away. So how do you take away the oxygen from that place that's burning because of whatever fire in a nearby an oil well? How do you do it? You actually systematically inject explosions. And then when you explode, all that air goes away. Momentarily, that air goes away. All right? And that's what you got. Right? So the idea would be the solution is very close to where the problem is. And there are lots of these. Okay, we're going to see some basic, simple strategies. Yeah, very powerful strategies. One at a time. Unification. Unification says, whatever you have, use it for multiple uses. Okay? Whatever it is that you have, use it for multiple uses. For example, those of you who are doing electrical engineering, is there somebody here who is doing electrical engineering? Okay, you are, sir. Very good. What is an antenna? You have, by the way, you understand antenna, right? And all of you carry mobile phone. So there's an antenna in the mobile phone. If you, from the early days, if you had a transistor radio, there was an antenna that would stick out. From the earlier versions of automobiles, cars, there used to be an antenna, right? So everybody knows an antenna. Okay, very good. So antenna is one thing. And then, what is an antenna actually? All it is a piece of wire. That's what. You know, antenna people will tell you, oh, it's so complicated and all that. Actually, antenna is not complicated. It's a piece of wire. Why do they call it complicated? Because then their livelihood depends on it, right? They call it complicated. Never mind. Because I'm being recorded. Okay, folks, here is the deal. Can you use that antenna for other purposes? So in the automobiles, okay, especially in places where it snows a lot, and I believe it snows a lot in the northern parts of India also. So in regions where it snows, how do you get rid of the snow from a car? Let's say the car was parked outside your home, it snowed in the night, and now you need to take the car out. So how do you get rid of the snow from the windows? How? Wiper. The wiper will not work because the wiper is frozen. Wiper requires mechanical motion, and everything is frozen. You know how difficult it is to break ice? Right? So the lower layers of water that are right on the window is no longer snow. It has become ice because it has partly melted and then frozen again. So how do you do it?
Defroster.
You
Defroster.
defroster. Meaning?
Defroster. Oil.
Oh, defroster. Okay. Folks, defroster. So how do you get rid of the snow? You run actually in your, you have the, what do you call this? Windshield? Windshield. You have the windshield. You want to clean the snow. Actually, they sort of run a very tiny piece of wire in that windshield. And how do you melt it? It is attached to some kind of a battery. You can heat it up. So as that wire gets heated up, it automatically leads to melting of the snow or the ice. The point, our program, we can continue, right? I mean, you guys are okay, right? I'm not sure if this system is working, but my voice is reasonable, right?
It's working, sir.
It's working. Okay, very good. All right. So folks, so therefore you have a piece of wire running through your windshield. Can you use that piece of wire for an antenna? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. All right. So therefore, in today's cars, probably there is no separate antenna. Actually, the separate antenna is a very, very painful thing because it may tend to break. It's like, I don't know, aluminum. It breaks. And once it breaks, and there's a motor inside for it to push it up, bring it down, push it up, bring it down. Right? Very, very painful. So no longer you have these antennas in the automobiles. Right? So the idea would be then say, whatever it is that I have, I can use it for multiple things. Okay? Multiple things. Let me give you guys one more example. Do you guys, I mean, You guys, we call this thing, you wear it on the head, headphones. Headphones, right? Headphones. Do the headphones have a cable running from one end to the other? The answer is yes. Can you use it as an antenna? The answer is yes. All right. So therefore, so that's where we are looking at what is known as unification. You unify multiple functions into a single realization. Okay. Lots of things, lots of ways you can do this. People have combined even landline phones with cellular phones. So when you come home, you're no longer using the cell tower. You're actually using your landline phone if you have it. All right, lots of ways. All right, that's unification. Okay, very good. Next, we have reduction. Take something away. Take something away. This is really a very powerful thing. So when you take something away, you're no longer reducing the functionality for it. You're no longer reducing the functionality. You have to understand this. You're creating a new product. All right. Let me give some examples. Everybody saw that, right? Take something away. All right. So there are some examples here. Let's start with some of these. You have glasses. Glasses, right? Glasses used to have a frame. That frame goes around the lenses, and then it goes to the back. Then somebody says, "I don't need the lower half of the frame," right? Lower half disappeared, and then the upper half disappeared, right? Gone, right? Take something away. Everybody see that here. So now you have the lenses, and you have, I don't know what you call this thing, the support for those lenses. That's it. Frame is gone. All right. Continue on this. Let me take two more examples. Walkman. Walkman. You guys know what Walkman is? Yes. Okay, very good. Walkman. Eventually it became like a portable CD player. But Walkman was, when it was invented, it was seen as a way to carry your music. Okay, carry your music wherever you go. So portability was very big. Portability has always been very big. But Walkman the idea was that you can actually record your music. What we used to call in India as 2-in-1. And this is long ago. 2-in-1 was very popular. You can record and you can play. Right? Okay, so 2-in-1. So Walkmans were 2-in-1. But what happened was the use for Walkman came around for jogging. Walkman became very popular when jogging became popular. And does anybody know this jogging thing? How come jogging became popular? What happened? How come jogging became so popular? This is something that happened in the 60s. Jogging became popular because apparently the US president at the time was very fond of jogging. So he was on TV all the time. Oh, our president goes to jogging. You know the president 1960 to 1963? John F. Kennedy. All right. So that was it was a transformational presidency because TV had just come around, and he was the first TV president. Earlier presidents were all radio presidents. He was the first one. So the jogging was very popular. Walkman became popular. But then, are you recording anything when you're jogging? The answer was no. You had these pre-recorded cassettes and so on. You record them wherever you want to record, and then all you do is play. So why carry a recorder? Take away the recorder, right? Make it lighter. Take away the recorder. So somebody took out the recorder. All right. So that's Walkman with no recording. But the other product that we have is very curious. Have you, probably not in Silchar, but I'm quite sure, you know, mechanically, if I want to ride a wheel, how many wheels do I need? How many?
Minimum two or one.
No, you cannot say 2 or 1. What kind of answer is that? Either 2 or 1. You are so right. When you said, no, you need 2. Come on, guys.
Okay, no, one.
1. All you need is 1. Have you seen People riding one wheel?
Yeah, it's circus.
No. Circus was my generation. Your generation is not circus. Your generation is actually using it as a mode for transportation. Have you not seen videos? Because Silchar, I think, is a little bit sort of uneven, right? So it would be very difficult for somebody to ride a single wheel. But in Singapore, we see this all the time. It's a wheel, one leg on this side, other leg on this side, and you have a wheel in between, powered by rechargeable battery, and it goes. All right? You need one wheel. All right. So, folks, that's where we are going. Huh? That's where the future is. All right. Let me go to a traditional product. Take something away from it. Okay. You guys know this is something that was made very popular in India because of the movie called Sita or Geeta. You guys know rollerblades? Sorry, skateboard. What are they called?
Roller skates.
Roller skates. Roller skates. Yes, roller skates. You guys know, like four wheels.
Yes.
Four wheels. You put your shoe or whatever, strap it, and then you got wheels,
Yes.
right? And therefore you can go hawa ke saath saath. Right? You guys know what I'm saying?
Yes.
All right, very good. Those four wheels would also provide you with a sense of balance. So those were, what are they called again?
Roller skates.
Roller skates. Very good. Roller skates. Then somebody said, let's create roller blades. What is a roller blade? Four wheels, but not two and two. They were four in a row. They apparently gave you a better sense of better control. All right? Because four wheels in a row will sort of cover a greater area. Right? So therefore, your region of support is much bigger. And therefore, you can exploit that region of support to go faster. So that was rollerblade. Okay? Now, I'm going through this because we understand science. Right? Science says there is gravitation. But science does not tell you how to make a bicycle. Bicycle is human. Right? Humans use this gravitation to create a bicycle. So humans created these rollerblades and so on. Roller skates and rollerblades. But then somebody came out with the idea. It was very clever, amazing. They said, let's look at rollerblades, the simple ones. So you're wearing a shoe. Well, I'm not wearing a shoe because hopefully they will still be there when I go in the evening. All right? But you have a wheel here in front. You have a wheel here in the back. Okay? Same way, you have a wheel here in front. You have a wheel here in the back. Okay? Four wheels. How about I take a wheel out? It's crazy. Do I really need these four wheels? The answer is no. So I take a wheel out. Only one wheel left. Here, at the heel. I have a wheel left at the heel. That's called Achilles. Alright? This is a rollerblade with one wheel. Have you guys, because all of you guys belong to this generation, you may have tried it. Have you guys tried it? Achilles, one wheel. Have you guys tried rollerblades? You have. All right, very good. So you know, rollerblades bring about a certain sense of thrill, right? You're on your own, right? That kind of thing. Heelys, it was incredible. When Heelys came around, they were selling for $200 in Singapore. $200. It's regular shoe. If you take out that one wheel, the regular shoe is $40. So that one wheel is $160 more. What the heck is going on? So what are we paying for? Are we paying or not paying for the wheel? What is it?
Experience.
Experience. Now, the way it happens is, at my age, I'm very concerned. I'm not going to use it. If I have not used it, see, these things come when you are a kid. So when I was a kid, I was never into rollerblades, roller skates, nothing. I would not try wheelies. But my children are. So my son wanted to buy it. The grown-up ones didn't want it. But my son, he was like, I think 10 years of age at the time. He wanted it. Dad, I have to have it. You know, have you ever heard, you probably have never heard this phrase. I have to have it. Meaning what? It's almost like my life becomes meaningless if I don't have it. I have to have it. Okay? You have to have it, let's have it. And then it takes a certain amount of skill, right? For you to balance yourself on one wheel. So he's holding on to me, and it's like I'm teaching him how to ride a bicycle all over again. You guys know for the bicycle, right? How do the moms and dads teach you how to ride a bicycle?
Yes.
You hold from the back, and then and then you're kind of like falling and you forget the brakes and so on, right? Going wibbly wobbly, right? Don't you?
Yes.
But eventually you get it. Somewhere along the line there's a switch, it turns on. And then what happens? Do you still want moms and dads to hold you? Yeah, you're gone. Right? Mom and dads are standing there and you're gone. So my son was like wibbly wobbly, dad, don't let me go. And suddenly the switch is gone. The amount of thrill that he gets is basically what the company that is selling Helix is leveraging upon. It's a new product. Don't think it's a rollerblade. It's a new product. Okay? So you can create these products out of reduction. Take something away. A lot of times, a lot of things are taken away. Right? And you create new products. So the idea would be look around you. Alright, don't go very far. Don't go very far. Okay, lots of different ways. So we have looked at two of them. The third one is called multiplication, add more. Remember the earlier one was take something away? This one says add more. Okay? So let's add more. So do you guys these okay folks, I'm not going to try to make a sexist statement. It's no sexist statement. But I think the way lifestyle is, both men and women tend to shave. Right? Wherever you have some unwanted hair, you want to get rid of it, you shave. How about shaving? So you say, it used to be, how many blades do you need for shaving? How many do you need? One. One only, right? One is good enough. So two. Will two give you better shape? Yes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Where do you stop? So you have one blade. You have one blade. I put the second one. Am I putting the second one exactly the same way as the first one? Yes, it is? No. It's meant to do something slightly different. It cannot do the identical stuff because the first blade has already cut the hair. So if the second blade is going to cut the same hair, then hair is not there anymore. So you're going to take one blade. The second blade is aligned slightly differently. The third one, fourth one, the fifth one. Where is Gillette right now? You guys use Gillette here?
5 blades.
5 blades. Very good. They've gone up to 5. But the genius is not in 5 blades. Let me go to 6. The genius is in placing the blades at the, it's very, very fine sort of an inclination or an angle at which these blades are placed. All right? But you have multiple blades there. So that's basically adding, getting a better product, getting a newer product, right? You're adding things. That's this one. The second one is a company that I did. And folks, this is a good example to get a sense of technology and business model. So this is the company I did. This was back in 2006. See how the company goes. The company says at that time there was no such thing as these days you need cellular connectivity everywhere you go. Right? So if you wanted to have cellular connectivity, internet access for your laptop, there was something called a dongle. Right? In those days, the dongle speed, and by the way, you understand, right? The up speed, the uplink, and the downlink have different speeds. So in those days, the speed was about 1 Mbps. I'm talking about many, many years ago. Today, I think everything is 10 Mbps or more. Okay, so 1 Mbps. So you say, I have one dongle, 1 Mbps. Can I take 2 dongles, 2 Mbps? 3 dongles, 3 Mbps. 4 dongles, 4 Mbps. What do you guys think the answer is? Yes or no? Now, every time, folks, please understand this. Every time you say no, it cannot be done. You have to give me a fundamental reason why it cannot be done. Am I violating a second law of thermodynamics? It's not a law. The law of the second law of thermodynamics. Am I violating that when I say use 2 dongles? Do you have even at a single USB port? Can you connect 2 dongles? Come on, guys. Don't you have a splitter? Can't you split a USB port into 4? Yeah, yes, of course, Right? So there is absolutely nothing Absolutely nothing that says you cannot use 2, cannot use 3, cannot use 4. Absolutely you can. The trouble is not so much in the physics. The trouble is I take one dongle from Singtel, another one from Singtel in Singapore, or let's say Airtel. So the first dongle from Airtel, second dongle from Airtel, and I go to Airtel and I say, Airtel, you have to change one line of software code to make these two dongles happen, for these two dongles to work together. Will Airtel change its one line of code? Answer is no. Why not? Because their warranty for the software will disappear as soon as you change the software. The vendor will say, I'm not responsible, you change your software. Right? Not going to happen. So the genius therefore is, or the cleverness is, you use more than one dongle, but you use it in such a way that the network does not have to change. Because the network will not change. You're looking for an end-to-end solution. Right? You're looking for an end-to-end solution. The network is only in between. You want to access CNN.com. That's where you want to go. In between are these networks. Everybody sees that here. Okay. So we came out with a solution. So this is basically my invention. We came out with a solution for multiple dongles that can be used simultaneously. I launched a company. We built a product actually. So where would you use it? Now you have to talk about the business side of it. What was the business case? What do you think? Is it simply net browsing? Your 1 Mbps now has become 2. You'll pay twice as much, right? Because you have 2 SIM cards, you have 2 subscriptions. Are you willing to pay twice as much? What was the business case? What was the need? You have to speak just a bit louder, man. Higher speed. But higher speed, in what environment does higher speed become a value proposition? Interestingly enough, the value proposition came from breaking news in India. You know, when there is breaking news, you have to upload. It cannot be an audio link. That does not have the power of a breaking news. The breaking news is the video reaches, right? The video reaches wherever the transmitters are for the TV station. The video has to reach there in real time. Why? Because there is a competitor out there. Everybody has this breaking news, right? So breaking news is, you have to, the news is still breaking, but it's being broadcast nationally, right? So the business case was the uplink video. The uplink video speeds were very poor. They were very, very poor quality video when you look at breaking news. So breaking news in India was the solution that we sort of looked to commercialize in that company. All right? So you have to walk that walk. It's not enough to invent a certain technology. You also have to find a certain business case. All right? Simple examples. We have our distinguished professor here, Professor Dr. Hajra. You have a scooty, sir. How many cylinders does it have? 1. Very good. You guys know this, right? These motorcycles and scooters. Of course, heavier motorcycles is different. But typically, motorcycles and scooters have 1 cylinder. You guys know those 1 cylinders, they go through, I think they go through a cycle of 4 phases. Of those 4 phases, how many of those 4 phases give you power? Only 1. The other 3 don't give you power. But if you want continuous power, how many cylinders do you need? 1 out of 4 you're getting power, right? So you need 4 cylinders. That's how the lowest level car will have 4 cylinders, right? But those 4 cylinders need to be placed out of phase. They're 90 degrees in phase, right? If they are in the same phase, then you will have 4 times the power, but the other 3 times no power. So you got to sort of slightly displace them, all right? But then you fire them. Their firing is in sync, right? You fire them and you have power continuously. So that's multiple cylinders, all right? And then of course this was a very curious thing, the PCs, very, very curious thing. So we had these, you guys, okay, of course, all of you guys probably have laptops, but when you are at home, you still are at office, wherever you work, you still use desktop computers. Sometimes, yes, right? And those typically they used to come with 1 display. How many displays do you have now? Are there people here still using only one display? Or there's somebody here with two displays? Two displays, guys? You have two displays.
The time I'm using laptop and the monitor of my desktop as a extension screen.
Okay, very good. Others, guys? Two displays? Only one.
I use it for, I have two monitors, but I can split my accounts here and
Yes, you can do. Yes, you can display one thing here, one thing here.
One side and then
Very good. Okay. So it was a curious thing. Somebody said to me, Hari, why don't you use two displays? First of all, the one display itself, the size has been growing up, right? It used to be small, and then I went back and I saw my single display. My God, I used to use this small display. This is incredible. So the size of the display is growing, but the number of displays is also growing. So somebody came to me and said, hey, why don't you try this? Use two displays. Okay, fine. I'll get two monitors for my office computer. I got two. And I said, my God, I can't believe it. I never ever want to go back to using only one monitor. Never. The question is, and we keep coming back to this question a lot. Why are two displays or two monitors better than one? Why?
based on the task, sir.
Based on the task. Fundamentally, guys.
So why did we explain we discuss it?
Multitasking.
The more we view, the more we get it.
The more we view,
The more we
the
get
more we can view. Why? Because we consume information through our eyes. So two displays somehow work with our eyes. There is twice as much area, right, that is going into our eyes. So folks, it's not about, yes, it is about multitasking. But there is nobody here who does not do multitasking. Everybody does multitasking. Alright, multitasking is not a new phenomenon. Trust me. We used to listen to cricket commentary as a student in the back while the lecture was going on in the front. So today you guys do your Facebook in the back. But multitasking is multitasking. You wanted to say something.
Actually, even we used two screens. At a time, we only able to concentrate on a single screen. Even we are using the double screen. At a time, we need to concentrate only in the single screen.
Okay.
But the necessity of the another screen is mandatory because sometimes I drafting some engineering graphics once.
What?
I needed to open the image file in one screen. Simultaneously, I process the CAD work in the another screen.
What?
And simultaneously, I have to change the image file and the file. Even at a time, we need to concentrate in the one screen.
Of course. Of course. That's the way it is. We want to, long ago there used to be an expression that said, I wanted, what was the expression? The expression was, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Have you heard that expression? You can't have your cake and eat it too. But these days, we want to have our cake and we won't eat it. Alright? So that's the way it is. So we are never, so the point is that the argument that we are making is the status quo is not something that we are sort of, we have reached a point where we don't need, we don't want anymore. That point of satiation where we are satisfied hasn't been reached. Not in any sense. Today you have one TV or hard disk, you want to have another TV, two TVs. Tomorrow, who knows? Alright? We thought that HD TV was it. But then is the HD TV done? Are we done with the high resolution definition? Or will there be another one? Sony is working on 4K. Right? 4K. Bigger displays, better resolution. But will 4K be it? The answer is, if somebody is doing 4K, there would definitely be somebody working on 10K. That's just the nature of human beings. There will be a certain application that runs that much better on 10K. All right? Maybe today we haven't thought of that application. Okay? But television is a very powerful medium. Or internet is a very powerful medium. Most of it we consume through our eyes. Okay, so that's the third one, multiplication. Division. Division says chop it up. Right? Chop it up. Chop, chop, chop. Okay, so let's just start with audio amplifiers. It used to be you had everything into one box. Then somebody says speakers separately, amplifier separately, tuner separately, this separately, equalizer separately, right? Your CD player separately, everything separate. So you can chop in a lot of different ways. Then you can combine in a lot of different ways. All right? You can also chop in terms of physical chopping. You can chop in terms of functional chopping. All right? It used to be not too long ago, guys, that when I had to do some computing, I would punch cards. You would punch cards, you give it to the computer center, they run it for you, they give you the deck and with a printout. Then came the time we had a very dumb terminal. All right, and then you don't have to run to the computer center, you don't have to print the cards. You do your programming on the monitor, but it's a very dumb monitor. You submit, but it was electronic. All right. Then came everybody has a PC. So now the terminal that was very dumb now has become very smart. All right. But has that taken away the need for computing away from these big computing facilities? The answer is no. Computing has grown like crazy. So chop. You have one TV. You know, it's crazy. My first desktop computer had a hard disk of 0.5 GB. 0.5 GB. Not the RAM. The hard disk was 481 megabytes. All right. Today, one TB. All right. But what does that mean? 0.5 GB is 1000 GB. Right? That's 1 to 2000. But has that taken away the need for having a storage online? Answer is no. All right, storage online is not equivalent to storage on my laptop computer or on my desktop computer. All right, so you chop. So you can do cloud computing. You can do software as a service. Right? Why do I have to buy software? When I can rent a car, I can rent a house, I can rent everything I can rent. Right? Uber, I can rent a taxi. Everything can be rented. Why not software? What is so unique about software that it can be rented? Actually, there's nothing. Okay? So lots of this. So lots of these things. Online storage, of course. Online, it's amazing. It's amazing. So you chop gives rise to new products. All right? Don't think that they are all the same product. They're not. They're different products. Okay? All right. Then finally, this is even crazy. You can't even tell what to do here. This is attribute dependency. So let me give you guys an example. You guys eat ice cream? Yes. So when do you eat ice cream? Season-wise. Don't say in the night, daytime, whatever. Summertime. Very good. So you tend to live eating of the ice cream with the weather of summer. Everybody see that here? Okay. Very good. So the traditional usage of ice cream is summertime. You're feeling the heat. You want to have some cold thing. So you drink some soft drink, cold, or you have an ice cream. Very good. Now, it has happened a lot of times that I travel from Singapore to New Delhi. Delhi is where my family lives. I travel from Singapore to Delhi. I land at like 11:30 p.m., 12 o'clock, and I have to take a taxi around midnight to go to my home. And it's the month of December, January, very cold. All right? And the taxi goes by India Gate. And it's 1 a.m. in the morning. And it's the month of January. So is there nobody there? What do you guys think? It's all empty? Nobody because it's cold? No, it's darn crowded. Lots of ice cream. What is 1 a.m.? What are people doing outside? At 1 a.m., month of January, eating ice cream. What's going on? Come on, guys. You guys are young, right? So when you're young, you do crazy things. Don't you do crazy things when you're young? Right? Everybody. So it's like a boy and a girl story. Right? Oh, let's go have an ice cream. So the moms and the dads will go for an ice cream in summertime. And they will not be out at 1 p.m. But the young people, right? They are out there. So therefore, then it's not an expression of I want to sort of have an ice cream to take away my feeling of heat. It's like totally different experience, totally different product, right? You're feeling romantic. You go out with the person that you like, and you have an ice cream. Right? Everybody sees that here. Lot of different ways, guys. Lot of different ways you have to see these products. You have to take away the traditional usage of the product. Let me give. I have lots of examples here. I don't have to list all of these. Okay, a couple of them I like to list. Long ago, well, not too long ago, everybody thought mobile phone was for calling. By the way, SMS on a second generation phone was put in as an accident. Nobody thought it became so popular. Okay? It was essentially a tool for voice calling. So somebody comes around and says, voice calling. So if people want to have the freedom to make a call wherever they are, people should also want to have the freedom to make an email. Make an email meaning send them receive email wherever they are. So they put email, not voice calling, but they put email on the phone. All right. So one of the first companies that said, let's take away the attribute of voice calling on a mobile phone. Let's put email. The company was Research in Motion, later on called BlackBerry. Okay. So you got to learn to take away the attributes. Okay. So the first time when I was introduced to diapers was when my first son was born. Right. So you're living in the States and you use diapers. Everybody understands the use of diapers, right? Okay, very good. But life comes full circle. You realize that diaper is not just a product for small babies. Can it also be a product for grown-ups? What do you guys think? The answer is yes. It's not so much the age, it's the need. All right? It's the need. And therefore, you take away this attribute of a diaper and a baby. Right? That baby, there's a certain need that you're fulfilling. So if that need goes beyond the baby, then you have the product, the same or a similar product or the same idea now can be used in a different environment. All right? Lots of examples, guys. GPS. Do you know GPS stands for what? Global Positioning System. Very good. Who invented that? It's the Americans. Why did they invent it? Because they had their naval ships all over the world. And they wanted to have some kind of a reference to figure out where they are. Okay? An automated way of referencing the location of their naval ship. What do they do? They set up GPS. Today, everybody has a GPS receiver inside the phone. Right? Are you using it for your naval ship? No, right? You're using it for your own personal navigational needs. So the same system gets used. There are lots of examples, guys. There's a couple of examples of my company here. So currently I'm promoting a company called UBTime. And that says email addresses traditionally they're used for pushing files, sending messages. Can I use email addresses for making voice calls? The answer is, of course you can, right? But nobody is going to change the way email servers are set up. So you cannot go to Gmail and say, can you change your email server? You cannot go to Hotmail. You cannot go to your office, company, wherever, and say change. No change allowed. But can I use the existing email servers and systems for voice communication? The answer is yes. That's the company I'm currently promoting. All right. There are a lot of other examples here, guys. A lot of other examples. No end to these examples. But the point would be, many times we somehow get ingrained into a certain way of visualizing the use of a product. If you were to amend, if you were to sort of maybe step back, as IDEO video says, step back a little bit and sort of see not so much the use for the product, but the need that that product is sort of meeting or fulfilling. That's when you're able to translate the use of that product in different environments. All right? Because the same or a similar need may exist elsewhere. You've got to be mindful. All right. What we're going to do is maybe it's 4:30. and I was told around 4:30 we should have a little break, a 5-minute break. So we're gonna have a little break. We're gonna come back and we have an interactive session for about an hour or so. The idea will be this. Let me say in 2 minutes what we will do. We will have you guys sort of form your own groups. Maybe say groups of 4. So 4 people, 4 people, 4 people. All right, and then we want to sort of get a sense of what we can do. So everything can be internetified. Everything. So what we're going to do is we have learned how to invent things, right? So we know these 5 techniques: unification, reduction, multiplication, division, and attribute change. We're going to apply those and see how we can get rid of this, how we can bring this wallet to this 21st century. Okay? We're going to do this exercise. We know the techniques, we know the tools. So we're going to come to this wallet. This wallet is used for cards. This wallet is used to carry money, other things. So what can we do to simplify the wallet? We'll talk about it in group of 4, and then towards the end of the session, we'll have one person from each group come and make a presentation to what they're going to do to the wallet. Everybody got it? Any questions, concerns, comments? If there are no questions, concerns, or comments, we go to the team. All right?
We take a break of 10 minutes. Okay? We have a tea break and after we listen to after 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Ready?